It is unusual for a woman to enter an alehouse alone, unless she works on her back. I do not, but I entered that back alley drinking house anyway. I'd heard raised voices and civil disturbances are something of a specialty of mine. A hush fell over the room as I drew back the heavy curtain that hung from the interior doorway. The men seated against the walls and at small tables stared at me through dim light and the haze of candle smoke and spent tobacco. They might have cast those long, bitter looks at me for wearing the colors of the League of Civility. Mine was not a popular order, particularly here in a disorderly place. But I knew these eyes fell upon me for another reason. The dark leather mask I wore upon the left side of my face. I slowly trod floorboards warped from time and ample spillage, and let the patrons all get a close view of me. It didn't displease me that the mask covering my disfigurement caused reticence in these alley men, though it did make it hard to find out those I had heard shouting. I inquired of the barkeep. He stared back at me defiant. A strange response, since my only purpose was to prevent an escalation to civil disobedience. I nearly cuffed the man when an unstrained voice beckoned me to the corner. If there was anything a long life of living with my deformity had taught me, it was these two things. How to use the rest of my body, which bore no disfiguration, in a physical contest, and the lack of personal regard to make me dangerous in that fight. But when I found the owner of the voice, he bade me sit. He scarcely seemed to notice my mask, nor did he show any fear that I belonged to the League. Our conversation ran late into the night. It was not flirtatious, I am no coquette. Rather, we spoke as two soldiers might. Indeed, this man bore an angry-looking scar upon his own face, as if he had seen battle. It was well past dark hour by the light of a gibbous moon that we lay together in my bed. He was the first man ever to touch me in places reserved for intimacy. I did not like that it made me shudder, but it thrilled me too. He did not hurry, but he was not strictly tender either. And he did not, though I had always thought a man would, look away from my face, still bearing my mask, when our union was made whole. A child came of it. A child I could not support alone. I did not seek the man out for aid, though later I would send him word of the child. Still, after a life of scorn and ridicule, I had only one choice. The day after I gave birth to the babe, I took her to one of the recitative orphanages. Standing in the office of the headmistress holding the infant, I felt the pain of a mother pushed to her least desire. For all its utility, something I had always appreciated, this place for foundlings raised despair in my heart. How could I leave her here? And yet, if I did not, I would have to resign from the League, and the future either of us would know would fall upon a grim path. Tears ran beneath my mask, salty and hot, as I allowed the woman to gently wrest the child from my arms. And leaving that place, I felt more bitter still than the day I had gone in upon the dark house of hard liquor and found a night of love. But I would see the father of my child one more time. And when I did, my heart would break again.